Hello, welcome to News Centre. I'm Parikshit Luthara. Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra has been summoned by the Lok Sabha Ethics Committee on the 31st of October in connection with the cash for query allegation against her. So what's the charge? Supreme Court lawyer Jai Anand Dehadrai had alleged that the lawmaker had been accepting bribes from industrialist Darshan Hiranandani in exchange for posing questions in the parliament targeting the Adani Group chairman Gautam Adani. Meanwhile, Darshan Hiranandani, in a sworn affidavit that was submitted to the Lok Sabha Ethics Committee, claimed that Mahua Moitra provided him with her parliament login and password so that he could post questions directly on her behalf when required. Hiranandani said that he did not pay bribes to Moitra in the form of expensive gifts. Moitra later claimed that Hiranandani was forced to sign a white paper. Hiranandani rebuffed her claims, said he signed the affidavit voluntarily. BJP MP Nishikant Dubey and Supreme Court lawyer Jai Anand Dehadrai, the complainant, have already appeared before the committee.
मैंने जो भी मेरे से पूछा गया था वो मैंने सच कमेटी के सामने मैंने पेश कर दिया। उसके अतिरिक्त मैं और कुछ नहीं कहना चाहता हूँ। कोई डिस्प्यूट नहीं हो रहा था। सब जितने भी मेंबर्स थे उन्होंने मेरे से बहुत अच्छे से और कॉर्डियली मेरे से सवाल पूछे। जो कुछ भी मेरे से पूछा गया उसका मैंने आंसर मैंने दे दिया। उसके बियॉन्ड कुछ नहीं हुआ।
To take this story further, we have with us PDT Achary, former Secretary General of the Lok Sabha. Mr. Achary, let me begin by asking you about how grave these allegations are, number one, and what is the precedent? Have you seen cases of this kind in Parliament earlier?
This matter has been referred to the Ethics Committee of Lok Sabha. Ethics Committee deals with cases involving unethical conduct of the members. Now, this committee nowhere defines the unethical conduct. Nobody knows what exactly is meant by unethical conduct. But we have to make a guess. A conduct which is not a breach of privilege, but which is not acceptable to the House, can be called an unethical conduct. There can be any number of examples. In fact, one of the examples which is available there in the Lok Sabha records is that a member took his girlfriend when he was on an official tour, personating her as his wife. Now, a complaint was made about this, and certainly the committee took notice of this and made investigation into this. And then he was found guilty, so he was suspended for from 30 sittings of the House. And he was also prohibited from taking any companion or his spouse on any future committee tours till the end of that Lok Sabha. So that is how such issues were dealt with by the committee.
Right. So you're saying 30
sittings.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
So the point is that such conduct of the members will be looked into by this committee. But in this particular case, I find, if I heard you correctly, that no money has been given to the member as per that particular person, Hiranandani or whatever. He has not paid any consideration to her. So that means the whole question will boil down to her handing over password to this gentleman for asking questions. Well, that, of course, may be
right.
a misconduct, which can certainly be looked into by the...
Right. So you're saying that sharing of your password and username of your Parliament login ID with a private person is definitely a misconduct. But I would like to ask you, now that the Ethics Committee has summoned Mahua Moitra herself for the 31st of October, what is the process that will follow? What are the kind of questions that she is going to get? Because we've been hearing reports that the Ethics Committee could also call on the IT Ministry, the Home Ministry for help. And even the Parliament Secretariat as well, because they would be handling the IT interface?
Well, so far as those technical details are concerned, certainly the committee can obtain those details from the concerned ministry and other agencies. And they have the power to summon all these agencies and take evidence. And then the committee can also summon other witnesses who have some connection with this or who have some knowledge about this kind of thing. So that is the procedure which the committee follows. All the persons who have some connection with this or who have some knowledge about this will be called, and their evidence will be taken, and on the basis of that, the committee will finally reach its conclusions.
Right. Mr. Achary, can she only be suspended as per parliamentary procedures, or is there a procedure for disqualification as well, or does it depend on the discretion of the Speaker? What does the precedent and the law say as far as parliamentary procedures go?
A parliamentary committee is a recommendatory body. It cannot punish anybody, it cannot disqualify anybody, or it cannot suspend anybody, but it can only recommendation a particular kind of punishment. Now, for unethical conduct on the part of a member, normally the practice has been to either censure them or reprimand them or suspend them. These are the kinds of punishment which used to be meted out to a member who is found guilty of misconduct or unethical conduct. So any one of these punishments can be suggested by this committee. But then it is for the House to decide what punishment should be given. Suppose the House agrees with the report but doesn't accept the suggestion about the punishment and let off the member. The House has the power because it is the House which will decide whether to punish the member or not. Committee can only make a recommendation.
Right. And finally, any decision taken by the House in toto, can they be challenged before the Supreme Court?
Well, you see, it's kind of a gray area because normally suspension, etc., is not challenged. But suppose a person is suspended for 1 year by a committee, suggested by the committee, and the House accepts it. Or maybe the House will enhance the punishment to 1 year. Well, that kind of a punishment, is perhaps too much. And therefore, there has to be a proper reasoning for that. There has to be a proper justification for that. Normally, suspension is actually for a certain number of days of the sittings. Suspension from the sittings of the House, that is how it is called. It is not like the suspension of a government employee. So, member is suspended from the sittings of the House. That's it. So, it is a certain number of days. Not for 1 year and all that. So, in that case, maybe a member has the right to go to the court and challenge it.
All right. If it is a long period or if it seems unreasonable. Mr. Achary, thank you very much for sharing that perspective with us. Let's see what happens in this case now on the 31st of October, because that's when Mahua Moitra will have to appear before the Parliamentary Committee on Ethics. We're going to take a short break here. But on the other side, the new European Union Ambassador, Hervé Delphin, shares the progress on the free trade agreement talks between India and the European Commission. That's coming up on the other side.